in the 1980s, we seemed to go to, some people think almost an evil, high fructose corn syrup. Why is that bad?
Fructose is a natural fruit sugar that we see in fruits and vegetables, and by themselves, eating fruit is not bad for us to have some fructose as the sugar that we eat. They have refined corn syrup into a very, very, very high sweetness level, where it's so cheap and so much easier to sweeten foods that they literally put it in everything. That's when Coke changed its flavor. That's when Pepsi got cheap. It's when they started using high fructose corn syrup instead of sugar, regular sugar. And it's been shown that when they absorb the fructose, it seems to bypass parts of our regulatory system, and actually the fat that's formed from that sugar goes straight to the belly. So this fact that Americans are getting fat, and a lot of it is hanging over their belts, is due to the high intake it's probably due to the high intake of high fructose corn syrup. If you look on packages, every cookie, every chip, every cereal that you eat has a little coating of high fructose corn syrup. And certainly any real soda, not diet soda, is loaded with high fructose corn syrup. And the result has been that our American public got used to ingesting a huge amount of this stuff that not only was high in calories, not only caused hunger, because when you eat sugar it makes you hungry, the calories that it was absorbing, that you absorb from that high fructose corn syrup goes straight to your belly fat. And this is a very serious problem, because belly fat is what causes the side effects of obesity.
Well, Dr. Henry Handel, a pediatric endocrinologist, always talked about it raises the blood sugar very quickly, make a lot of insulin, bring it down, but too much insulin, so you start getting hungry right afterwards, and that might be one of the triggers for the obesity problem, as you alluded to before.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yeah, it's absolutely true that sugar raises your insulin level, and insulin can make you hungry. So we try to have high quality carbs that we eat that are digested more slowly, meaning starches with bran in them, or starches that are considered brown starches, so that it takes longer for them to be digested. So instead of having a shot of sugar going into the bloodstream, little dribbles of sugar go in as you digest the starches, and that kind of starch does not raise your hunger level.
Well, if you look at the label and you see carbohydrate, 20 grams and 18 grams of fiber, that's a good chance that glucose load will be not so bad, so it won't raise your blood sugar so quickly.
We're going to see 18 grams of fiber, but you may see 5 grams of fiber.
Oh,
so
there are a couple of things we actually can find like that.
Fiber definitely slows down the digestion and allows the carbs to be absorbed more slowly, and that's the...
So you should look at the label, subtract the carbohydrate, the fiber with the carbohydrate, the net is how much sugar you have. If those numbers are relatively low, you have a better chance of not getting very hungry after eating it.
Yeah, but unfortunately they'll say whole grain on something like Cheerios, and if you look at how many fiber grams you get with that portion, it's a very low amount. So just calling it whole grain doesn't really do your job. You really have to look at the fiber content and see if you get at least 3 grams of fiber.
So you should look at the loads. You look at the glycemic load, the carbohydrate minus the fiber, and that's the net carbohydrate absorbed.
Right,
and that's a very important thing people should be looking at.